Hey beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I'm excited to bring you the December 2019 bargain bead box. It's always such a great deal and has a nicely curated theme. It's $17.95 a month with free shipping if you're in the US, and it is absolutely, and with good reason, one of the most popular subscriptions I open up on my channel each month. So let's pop this out of our mailer and see what our theme is. We've gotten so many earthy tones lately. I'm really hoping for something brighter. So that's kind of a funny coincidence because it looks like our theme here is called Merry and Bright. So it looks like we will be getting some bright colors, which is a nice change. Every month it is so different. We also have a coupon code on our insert each month, which is awesome to use at their sister site Beadbox Bargains, which I've shared a lot. And every month they do a contest where they will pick a random winner to win a $25 credit to their shop just by sending in some pictures of your finished pieces that you've made from what you received in the box. So before we get into the beads, let's take a quick peek at our list here. Looks like we are going to be getting 17 different items this month, and here's a peek at that in case you need to refer back to it for any reason. And now let's take a look at everything one by one. Alright, so here's bag number one. We're off to a good start as far as brighter colors are concerned. So this is a 16-inch strand of 8mm man-made turquoise round beads. I really don't care the fact that these are man-made turquoise. It's a nice long strand of beautiful bright turquoise beads, and we will be seeing some actual gemstones as we get further into the subscription, as we usually do. You can see that these have the little bit of veining effect, the dark brown veins you can see especially in this bead right here, which gives it that look of turquoise. But I think this strand is going to go a long way, and I'll be able to do a lot of different things with it. Next up, this is a 7.5-inch strand of 6x4mm Sinkiang Turquoise faceted rondelle beads. The asterisk on the list says that it has been stabilized to improve color and durability, but from what I understand, that's pretty common, especially if you're not spending a ton of money on gemstones. Those are absolutely beautiful. I love the faceting on them. They are a little bit shiny, which really brings out the facets and the different colors. You can see that there are different tones of more bluer turquoise and then more green. You can see some mossy green on those and a little bit of brown also. I really love this strand. This is one of those things that I would repurchase if you go on their beadboxbargains.com site. A lot of times you can find some of their past bead strands and findings that you've gotten in some of their boxes, which is another really great feature of this subscription. Speaking of great features, they always include a well-coordinated full set of findings and even chain. So that's what we have here in bag number 3. This contains 40 pieces of 7mm lacy bead caps. And it says for the metal used inside that it is high quality zinc pewter alloy with antique bronze finish. And in most cases it's lead-free, nickel-free, and cadmium-free, and they do note that on the list for you guys. So here's a nice handful of these antique brass bead caps. I'm always excited to get more of these because I do use them, and it helps you not to have to think about replenishing your stock. These are in the little flower shape with the little dotted design around the petals and around the center. Then we have bag number 4, which contains 3 sets of 20x22mm swirl pattern toggle clasps. I love these. These are in an antique brass as well, and you will see that all of the findings are going to be in this collection like they usually do, and they do switch that around each month. Sometimes you'll receive all silver, all gold, all copper, and this month just happens to be antique brass. So you can see the adorable swirl design in there. I'm always drawn to the little swirly designs like that. So pretty basic staple item, but nice to see all the different things that they can do with toggle clasps to make them look a little bit more interesting. And here's bag number 5, which contains 20 pieces of 7.5mm fancy Bicone spacer beads. And here's the handful of these that you can see up close. Lots of great detail on these and a little bit of weight to them, which makes you feel like you got something a little bit more substantial. Those are going to look great to space out some of these gemstone beads, some of these glass beads. Breaks them up just a little bit and adds in that metallic detail. And you can see again we have a little bit of that swirly design inside. So here's bag number 6, and this contains a very large focal. Oh my goodness, this says it is a 61x58mm round poinsettia focal ornament chandelier. This thing is big, so it could make a very substantial pendant, for example, or for those of you who wanted to use it in some type of decor, It does have a lot of openings around it, as you can see with the metal work and the scrolling around that. So lots of possibilities if you want to really get into something creative with this piece and bead around it, wire wrap around it, use resin with it. Here's a look at the back. So it's not double-sided, but that gives you an idea of how large the openings are in between all the different segments. And you can see this fits almost the entire palm of my hand here. Next up, we'll get into bag number 7, and that contains 7 pieces of 19.5 by 15 millimeter snowflake charms, and you get quite a few in here, which is another nice feature of the bargain bead box because they are generous with the quantities. They don't just give you 1 or 2 like you might see in other boxes, and granted, these aren't the highest quality in terms of findings, but if you're looking for more generous quantities, and there's certainly nothing wrong with them, they're not bendable or feel like they're going to snap in my fingers or anything. These are nice materials too. It's great to have so much to work with for such a little cost each month. Something I want to point out about these too is, again, you have those openings in the snowflakes, so that really gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of these charms. Not only could you use them as charms, but you could always use them as connectors, hint hint, because you have all the different places that other things could be connected to them. And then we get to bag number 8 right here, which says it contains 2 pieces of filigree wreath pendants. These are a 29 by 22 millimeter size. And I love the floral design. I love that these items are not outwardly holiday. You could use them even in a spring-like design with those beautiful flower and leaf cutouts. And again, lots of possibilities here. You see all the little openings that these have, so you could really get as creative as you want with these. I think they would also make a pair of gorgeous earrings depending on what you do with them. And I know you guys are going to come up with some very creative things. I can't wait to see what everybody's up to with all these pieces. And I can't wait to come back and share like I usually do. And then here's what bag number 9 contained. These are 6 pieces of 22.5 by 16 millimeter snowflake round links. And we've gotten these in a silver color before, and I used them quite a bit. I think I might even still have a couple left. I love getting links. These are so cute. They do look like they have a snowflake design, but like everything else in this collection, I really do appreciate how they don't scream snowflake. So you don't have to just use them in that way. You could if you wanted to, but they're also just a really pretty geometric design. Here's a look at the back of one of those links. You can see they are a little bit convex or concave depending on how you're looking at them. And in the past, I even doubled these up like this so that you didn't have to worry about what side was facing front and what side was facing back. You can pull these together with small jump rings just to give you one little idea of something that you could do with these. Alright, and here is bag number 7, which says it contains a 7.5 inch strand of 6 by 4 millimeter glass top drilled rondelle beads in holly berry red. And I adore this strand. I love that they're a little bit irregular with the top drilling. They're kind of chunky. They're not quite a teardrop shape, but they're definitely not just a regular round bead. So it should give another fun little opportunity to use these beads due to their different shape. And I was really hoping, for whatever reason, to get some bright red in this box. I just feel like we haven't seen any bright red in a bargain bead box for a while. We've seen so many earthy tones and even purples and a lot of turquoise, but I guess I got my red, so that's great. And this is a nice long strand, so again, could be used in several different projects if you wanted to. And here is bag number 11, which contains 5 pieces of 31 by 10 millimeter Sinkiang Turquoise teardrop pendants. These are gorgeous. So again, they have been stabilized a little bit to improve the color and the durability, but again, that is pretty common for a lot of your gemstone beads. They're all going to be just a little bit different. Mine are a little bit more pale in color than, say, the turquoise beads that you see back here, or imitation turquoise, I should say. You have some that are a little bit more of a lighter sky blue, and then some that have a little bit more green and brown inside. I love, again, the fact that you get 5 of these. You don't just get 1 or 2. They're so generous with their quantities and gives you a lot of possibilities, you know, using 5, for example, in one piece, or breaking them up and using them separately. You can see that these have a top drilled hole here, and they are pretty flat. These would be another great candidate if you're into wire wrapping and you want to get a little bit creative with not just stringing these, but maybe doing a little wire wrapping also. Alright, for bag number 12, you may want to strap on your sunglasses because we have a very, very, very bright strand of frosted glass round beads. So you know how in the beginning I was saying I was hoping for something bright? Well, I guess be careful for what you wish for because we got it. This is 15 inches of 6mm frosted glass beads in what they're calling electric coral. And hoo boy, are those electric. These are almost glowing in my hand. So this is something I am not quite sure about right away, but I never write anything off. I've learned that from months of doing these unboxings, that even if I get something that I'm not quite sure about, I am not going to dog it because sometimes those turn into some of my most creative pieces. Not saying this will, but you just never know. And this is a lot of bright orange, so you could really go bold with this. I think this would look great in a mix with other colors, especially for warmer weather. I think for me, I'm definitely going to be breaking up this bright orange with some other things to kind of tone it down a little bit. But if you want to go bright, you can definitely go bright with this orange. All right, next up we have bag number 13. This says it contains 4 pieces of 13mm cut glass crystal star beads in metallic green iris. And here is a close-up look at those. These are adorable. You can see the star shape there, and they're just a little bit faceted, and they're quite thick too. And you can see how they come to just the slightest point on the front and the back facings. The hole right here is going up and down through the star like that. These are going to be a little bit rougher than if you were to pay the higher price for Swarovski crystal. You can see that the hole on mine here, for example, is a little bit rough, so you may need to take that into consideration when you're using them. Maybe find a way to cover up the hole a little bit if you have some that are just a little bit rougher. I love how sparkly these are. They're kind of a smoky gray color, and then they have that metallic green iris finish. And then here's bag number 14, which contains a 7.5-inch strand of, it says approximately 6 to 12mm tumbled agate pebble beads in evergreen. Well, this is a beautiful strand. You can see why they say 6 to 12mm because they're all just a little bit different. They look like irregular pebbles, and look at all the different veins that are inside of those beads. So these are actual stone. They are actual agate. I love how natural these look. You can see the different shades of green going from just a slight amount of green inside of that one to more of your deeper tones, and also a little bit of brown in some of the beads too. Love how glossy they are, very tumbled and shiny. And I think these are a great addition to our antique brass this month. That's something I definitely would have paired with these. And I like how they're all just a little bit different. All right, our next item is bag number 15. This contains 2 pieces of 24mm lampwork glass Christmas tree beads. So for those of you who celebrate, there is a little bit of the holiday theme in here. These are quite chunky, and I always love how lampwork beads are always just a little bit different. It really is an art form to see people making these and all the different things, different shapes that can be done with them. These have a little white swirl going around that green glass with the little dots of red glass going around in kind of a swirl pattern. And bag number 16 here containing 1 meter of 5mm oval steel jewelry chain. Such a great staple, always keeping these stocked up on chain, and such a generous amount of it too. We always seem to get about 1 meter or close to 3 feet of chain in every month's box. It goes along with the particular metal that we got that month. And a lot of boxes you'll find just give you maybe 1 foot of chain, if any. So this is really nice. You always get so much to work with. And these open links are great for being able to connect other things onto them, or even breaking little pieces off to use as extender chains on your jewelry pieces. Something else I like about these links is that you can open these up with pliers. You don't have to use a pair of cutters to cut through the links. And that also gives you the option to use these sort of like little jump rings too if you need to and you're in a pinch. And then finally, our last bag here is number 17. It contains 8 inches of Chinese crystal 8x6mm rondelle beads in matte lime shimmer. Such another beautiful bright color. And I just realized we didn't get any 4mm Chinese crystal bicones this month. Usually we get a bag of those, so we got a little change up from that. I love that juicy green apple color with just that touch of shimmer that's painted on parts of the beads, and these are matte, so they have more of that frosted look to them. And I think they'll be a nice contrast with some of our other beads here, or used alone with some other things from your stash. So that is everything for the December 2019 Bargain Bead Box, the Merry and Bright edition. What I appreciate so much about this box is not only the price, but the fact that you get so many different coordinating findings to go along with your beads, plus the fact that they usually include genuine gemstone beads and some beautiful focals in your collections each and every month. Is just such a great deal getting that shipped to your door. It's no wonder why this is such a popular subscription. I love the different pops of brighter colors that we received in this month's box, and the fact that there are items that you could use toward holiday theme type of things, but for the most part, they're very generic and you could use these pieces in anything at any time of year. Don't forget, if you want to sign up for the Bargain Bead Box, I do have a coupon code. It is Opal2, and that will save you $2 off your first month. I will also leave the link and that code down below the video for your reference, and I do hope to be back soon, at least within the next couple weeks, to show you guys a collection of pieces that I've made from these beads and findings like I usually do each month. If you're interested in seeing past unboxings of the Bargain Bead Box, I have almost 2 years of past unboxings in my playlist, as well as many finished jewelry updates showing you some of the types of things I've been able to make with pieces like this. So thank you so much, as always, for joining me for another unboxing. I love being able to unbox these with you guys. Feel free to leave me a comment or a question down below. Let me know what you think of this month's theme and maybe what you're most excited to work with. Until next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.